What is happening with the XYO token? Why do we see this continued rally? Who's buying here? Who's selling here? Is this all manipulation by the whales that want to pump and dump? Or is this organic growth with a lot of adoption by small retail investors? Let's have a look at the on-chain metrics. Let's try to figure out what's actually going on behind the price action. Now we are currently at 2.9 cents roughly. We are up 20% today, 224% this week, and we more than 5x'd this month, an increase of 431%. Now what is XYO? It's a deep-in project that focuses on being an oracle, on providing data for the blockchain. And of course, we can't get too much useful information from the website. Websites are not necessarily the source of information that gives us a market edge, right? We have to learn information, we have to get things that most people do not know about. Now the project has launched in 2018 together in this ICO boom. And so one might suspect, if it's such an old token, is this just manipulation by some market makers? Maybe the centralized exchanges still have a bag somewhere and want to pump it, and maybe it's all just a dead project. But XYO does not look like a dead project. Have a look at the GitHub repository. There are still commits just recently. One has been made 6 hours ago. Other repositories had been updated 2 days ago. There's real activity happening. Now XYO is not a trending token. There's not a lot of attention on the token. I do not believe this video to get a lot of reach. Because when we look at the trading on chain, there was only 124 wallets that bought or sold the token in the last 24 hours. That being said, at one point it was a very popular token. On Twitter we've got more than 100,000 followers. And on chain we've got 93,000 holders. And this is how the holding developed over time for small retail versus the whales. We make the distinction by minimum holding thresholds. So on the left side we've got 35,000 tokens that need to be held at minimum to be counted over here. So that's at current prices $1,000 worth of the token. We go at 10x in minimum holding for the chart in the middle. So that's now $10,000 worth of the token, and it's $100,000 worth of the token on the right. We can clearly see how there was long-term accumulation, how was then a listing on a centralized exchange where people moved their tokens over, then a bit more purchasing, then a bit more selling. A very similar graph for medium-sized holders, and here we see probably an unlock that went to the whales. So that's very likely a vesting unlock. But we can see that most of the people that got tokens did not necessarily sell it. Now what happened specifically in the last month where the price more than 5x'd? Here are the same kind of holding thresholds, but only for the last month. And we can see that the number of retail investors actually went down. The same is true for medium-sized retail, and the whales didn't really change much. So it seems like the price discovery does not happen anymore on chain. It seems like all of those wallets aren't really moving much. And this is already what we suspected just by looking at the traders today, right? 124. It seems like the price discovery now happens on the centralized exchanges. Most trading volume happens on Coinbase, followed by Bitvavo and Gate.io and KuCoin. Only 5% of trading volume happens on the decentralized Uniswap on Ethereum. Still, this recent price rally did see a lot of new wallets coming into the token. So most days we saw less than 100 wallets that traded the token on a day. But on the 3rd of December, we saw more than 1,500 wallets that interacted with the token. And so attention comes in waves, right? This is the number of buyers and sellers over time. We are not necessarily super low now, but we aren't high either. There's no clear trend also in the number of buyers versus sellers over time. Those are very long-term charts. They start in January 2018. Now there are some news that underpin the recent rally. It is the rumor that XYO might be cooperating with Tesla. So have a look at this tweet. Confirmed, next Thursday, December 12th, I'll be visiting a Tesla hardware installation center for the XYO Cybertruck. Now the Cybertruck had its own problems. It seems like the production was halted for 3 days, but that was not necessarily Cybertruck specific. It was a battery supply issue. So other models had been prioritized. Now things are hyper bullish right now, right? Bitcoin continues to make one high after the next, and pretty much every altcoin is appreciating right now. It almost feels like because there's so much correlation within crypto that it doesn't really matter what we buy. What we see over here is the others dominance. So how much of all of crypto is in the altcoins that's not in the top 10 in terms of market cap. And that's growing very nicely, very steadily in the last days. And I see this in the statistics of this crypto channel as well. Nobody was interested in crypto just a few weeks ago, and suddenly we're spiking up in terms of attention again. And so yes, it's true that everything tends to go up, but there are still ways to outperform. So So for example, over here, this is the meme coin market, and in the last 7 days, AI16Z more than doubled. Yes, Bitcoin went up as well, but it definitely did not double. Now it's at a price of 43 cents. But the question is, how can we get into a token like AI16Z before it doubles? How can we find out about tokens like this early? And what I personally like to do is I like to follow other influencers. I like to follow insiders. I like to follow people that tend to move the markets, especially for those very small tokens. So have a look at this. Kyle Chessy bought AI16Z on the Jupiter exchange on Solana for 1.8 cents. And he didn't just buy once, he bought several times. Since then, the price went up by more than 2,000%. Now, who is Kyle Chessy? He's an influencer that tends to buy tokens very early, where of course not every single token makes these kinds of returns, but it's a bit like VC investing, right? You make 10 bets, you hope for 2 of those bets to make returns like this, and you're okay when the other 8 out of those 10 bets don't work out as well. So here we go, here is his channel. He's got 138,000 subscribers, and we track 12 of his wallets. So this is how wallet tracking works, right? You use on-chain analytics to find out who owns what wallet. And once you've got the wallet, you put this in a tracker. And then whenever this wallet makes a transaction, whenever this wallet buys or sells, we get an automatic notification. We are not just tracking Kyle Chessy, we also track Crypto Banter, for example. They've got 1.1 million subscribers. When they talk about a token, especially a small cap token, that token definitely goes up because there's a lot of attention on the token, right? Attention equals purchases, purchases equal a higher price. We've got 33 of Crypto Banter's wallets. And we're also tracking, for example, Alex Becker. He's got 1.5 million subscribers. We've got 12 of his wallets. And so really, I believe this is the way to beat the crypto market. It's to know more than most. It's not just to pick random tokens in a list, hope that they will make a 2-3x in this bull run. It's actually to be early. It's so early that most people don't know about this yet. I believe in this strategy so much that I made 8 dedicated tutorial videos just on wallet tracking. So how can we find influencer wallets? How can we track them? And how can we then also interpret the signals that we get from the tracking? It's all part of the premium membership of this channel. The link is down below, thebitcoinstrategy.com. Premium is not just about wallet tracking. It's also about backtesting. It's also about macro indicators. It's also about risk mitigation, portfolio diversification, etc. There's more than 100 tutorial videos in total in premium. And so yeah, people are very happy. Feel free to stop this video over here and read this feedback. The most important thing is, of course, once we have those kind of signals, that we also get some feedback from the rest of the community, right? That we discuss when should we buy, when should we sell, what are the current on-chain analytics. That's why I've got dedicated chats on the individual altcoins as well. So feel free to check it out. Feel free to invest some of the gains to make the portfolio grow even faster. There's also a 1-week money back guarantee. So in case you don't like premium, just message me within the first week and I will refund you 100%. You really have 0 risk. And so does it make sense to buy XYO now? Let's have a look at relative valuations. Let's look at the market cap compared to other oracles. Let's also have a look at the relative performance to Bitcoin over time. So here's the market cap comparison of other oracle providers. The largest is of course Chainlink. Pretty much all of decentralized finance uses the Chainlink oracle, and that's got a market cap of 15 billion. We've also got PIF, that is very popular on the Solana chain. It's got a market cap of 1.9 billion. 1 year ago, roughly, there was a lot of hype around PIF, and XYO is at 400 million roughly in market cap. So there's definitely space for more appreciation. A 2, 3, maybe even 4x is definitely possible. But will that happen? Let's have a look at the relative valuation to Bitcoin. So this is now XYO historically relative to Bitcoin. And this volatility over here is absolutely impressive. From December of 2018, where the bear market started, up until the beginning of 2021, XYO underperformed Bitcoin, and now hold your seats, 99.7%. It then subsequently went on an epic run where XYO outperformed Bitcoin by almost 21,000%. Over the very long term, even with this recent rally, it still underperformed Bitcoin by 60%. But if we take those prior tops as a reference point where the air might be getting thin, and the current upside versus Bitcoin in the bull scenario is maybe 288%. Of course, the bear scenario is that we will lose all of the current gains of this rally, and that's a drop of 75%. So this is definitely not a token for the faint-hearted, right? There's a lot of volatility in here, but currently we do see the altcoin market outperform the rest, so it might be worth potentially betting some small amount in. Now, if you got some value out of this video, feel free to subscribe. I publish videos regularly. A like would be very much appreciated as well. It helps the channel grow. See you in the next video, or see you in premium. Cheers.